you worked with, is it Jake Paul or Logan Paul?
I worked with both at their house in Puerto Rico.
The presence they give on social media, is that how big of a presence they are in person, or are they more chill?
Jake is way different in person than when you see him on social media, being like super cocky and arrogant and having like this persona. He's very chill and like very mature.
Is there a part of you that regrets not graduating?
I would have graduated this past year in June, where I was 3 years ago. That's basically where I'd be right now in my career. I feel like I wouldn't have had that opportunity if I didn't take the risk of like dropping out. Now, like I'm able to like take risks. I'm able to, you know, put myself out there and not care about what happens, you know?
That's the only reason why we have the podcast going, is because of you, to be honest.
Honestly.
Because I want it to feel legit, and I want it, you know, and I want it to be like, so when people watch it are like, okay, this is high quality. And I think you've made that. The man behind the camera is now a guest on the pod. He was a co-host last podcast, but we got Ulysses here in the pod. He's the last one out of the team, out of the Without a Doubt team that we'll be interviewing, and whose story we haven't got into yet. So we get into your story. You have a history of playing, but we'll get into it. But your passions led you elsewhere. We got Sergio.
I'm just
He's just chilling right there. He's like, when are you gonna introduce me?
It's just Uli and I. No, we got Sergio as my co-host. What episode were you?
It was second one.
First guest. So second episode.
Second episode. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So second episode. That's dude. Yeah, and you're the one that got like the. Okay, so
Yeah, he has the most views right now.
yeah, how does it feel to be the most viewed reel on our Instagram and TikTok?
TikTok, yeah.
And
Most viewed
hated.
podcast.
Yeah, well, that's just natural enough. Like, I mean, it feels good to have the most views, but the hate is just gonna come with it. But I mean, I don't mind it. Any publicity is good publicity at this point.
I just remember Uli like sending it over. It's like, oh, like
On the group chat.
it's blowing up, yeah.
Yeah,
And then
I'm like,
I go
God
look and I see the
damn.
comments and I'm just like, oh man.
Those Chivas fans are
They're
something, man.
they're
That's
passionate
crazy.
for sure.
Yeah.
I think in a later pod, we need to dive deeper into your story again, just to clarify some things for some people.
Yeah.
And then maybe even address some of the comments. 'Cause I think there's some are like hilarious.
That's true.
Yeah, wherever you're watching, just go to his reel on our Instagram and just scroll through the comments. It's comedic. But all right, Uli. So I like we start off with everybody. Let's get into like you growing up. I guess to begin with, like you don't play soccer anymore, but when did you first start playing soccer?
I remember first starting playing soccer probably like around 3 to 4 years old. My dad would just take me to the park, and then we just pass the ball amongst each other. And I never really got seriously into soccer till like 10 years old when I joined like a Sunday league team. I just saw like this like flyer at school, like saying like there's gonna be tryouts for it to come join, and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna join. And then I remember joining with like 2 friends at the time, and yeah, we just joined in from there. Played Sunday league. I never played any club at all. It was just mainly Sunday league up until middle school, playing for the school, and then high school, playing for high school soccer as well.
So did you did your dad play before?
Nah, he didn't play.
He didn't play. So he did, but was that just a thing to do together? Like
It's a
just
thing to
like
do
kick a
together.
ball?
Yeah, and then I would just we would watch soccer together, especially Mexico.
So you like to watch it, not necessarily play it?
Yeah. That was mainly it.
Did you ever were you ever like really like passionate about soccer? Did you ever really think that, oh, this is something that I want to like really pursue, or it was just something to just do for fun?
I was at one point. I think it was right shortly after I joined that Sunday league team. I was like, I want to go pro, and like how every kid is, like they always want to go pro if they're into soccer. But then I think it just died down probably like high school.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I don't think I see myself going pro or anything like that, especially with like thinking about kids our age, especially you being in club, and then you, Sergio, as well. I'm like, nah, I don't think there's no chance of me playing pro, so I'm just gonna play for fun.
Why didn't you ever do club though?
Just like with every one of us, it was mainly just financial wise. But then I mean, my dad was always pretty supportive of me and be like, if you like want to do club, like I'll pay for it. Like I don't really care about the price. And then I think there was like 2 teams. I don't remember the names of them, but there's 2 teams that like were interested in me, especially when I played goalie. During that time, they did want me to come try out for the team.
Yeah.
But then I just didn't feel like doing it. I don't know why. It was just not in me to go try out and stuff. Yeah.
At what age was this?
This was like between 14 and 16. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And then, so you mentioned you played goalkeeper, but did you always play goalie?
Nah, I started out as defense, probably center back and then right back. And then I'd say around 12 to 13, I transitioned to goalie. Kind of the same reason as Victor. It was just like I was never like really like a fit person. So I kind of like transitioned to goalie just so like I wouldn't have to run. But then like another big reason was just because I remember playing, what was that game called when you play in recess with your friends? What was it? Mundial? No.
World Cup.
The World Cup. Yeah. I always what's it called? I always wanted to be goalie, so I would always play goalie, and then I'd pull out these 6 saves, and then my friends would always tell me like, "Oh, you should play as goalie," and then I'm like, "I'll think about it," and then I think the more and more I played goalie, playing that game in recess, I just wanted to play goalie. Yeah. So I transitioned to that. Yeah.
And then, so at what age did you transition to that, usually?
It's like 12.
12? Okay.
Yeah.
And then from there, you just continued as a goalkeeper?
Yeah.
I remember in high school you were playing.
Yeah.
So, okay, so yeah, explain, what was your, like, what would you say your high school career was like?
I mean, it was just, I don't really know how to explain it, to be honest. But like, I felt like I took high school like soccer as like something fun, to like be around with, especially like our group that we had in our team. I just remember like us fun times, and we had a really good team, to be honest. And yeah, I mean, and I think it was just a way for me to just be fit and also just something else to like do apart from just doing school the whole time. So yeah, that's how I really took it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then at any point, like in high school, did you ever feel like, I'm over this? Or like, because like you said, the idea of playing professionally just kind of like went away when you got into high school. Was there a thought of even playing college soccer?
No, there was no thought of it. I think it was around junior year, I just got over it. A part of me still wanted to play my senior year, high school soccer, but then my junior year, I was like super deep into school and like just trying to keep my GPA high, trying to get like a bunch of scholarships. And so going into senior year that summer, that's when I just quit the high school team and just got a job and then just focused everything into studying and just making sure that my writing those college applications, trying to get into the top school.
I didn't know you quit the senior year.
Yeah, I did.
You did that.
Yeah, nah.
When did you meet Uli?
Yeah, I don't know where you met.
I feel like we've always known each other.
Yeah.
And like of each other. But I think we became really cool at Magia.
Yeah,
I think
that's
was
true.
when we first got like.
Oh, really?
Close. Yeah, so pretty
Yeah.
late, to be honest.
So that was like probably like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, something like that.
More. I want to say that
More over
3 or
yeah, over
Oh,
2
okay.
years for sure.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because this was during like COVID, no?
Yeah, yeah.
After, was it like post?
It was a little bit after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh wow, really?
Yeah,
I didn't
so
know.
pretty late compared to you
Yeah.
guys, but I mean, we're still homies now. So.
Yeah.
I think that's enough about soccer, to be honest, because I think what I'm most interested in, and I think what makes your like story more interesting is what happened after soccer. And I think we can always tie it back, but how did like going into writing your college apps and stuff like that? What were you thinking of studying? What did you have planned?
Honestly, I was always thinking about doing engineering, specifically mechanical engineering.
Oh, that's
right. Yeah.
That's right.
I was really good at math, and a lot of teachers thought like engineering was my thing, especially my math teachers, because I was really good at math. But then and I took one of the engineering classes at our school that they had, but then I I just kind of like fell out of love with it during that engineering class in that, I think it was junior year. I took it for 2 years. I just didn't feel like it was my thing anymore. And then taking calculus my senior year, like that was so hard. It was so hard, and like it
was AP Calc?
It was AP Calc. Yeah. And I just felt like halfway through the year, I'm like, that's not my thing. Even though like I had already applied to all these like colleges, for engineering for that major. So like I'm just like, well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what they answer with. And then so I got a bunch of college accepting me for engineering. A couple of them were like ones I didn't really want to go, and then the ones I really wanted to go for engineering didn't accept me for engineering. They accepted me for just no major, or and then there was this one school, UCSD. I applied engineering there, but I didn't get into that school with that major. I got into it with the media major, which is basically like photo and video. And then from that point, that's when I was like thinking about seeing if I can do with that major. And at that point, like my senior year, there was like a couple moments where like it was like a lot of downtime because I didn't have that many classes my senior year. I would just watch a bunch of YouTube videos, and I would just see like all these like YouTubers with their cameras just vlogging and just making films and stuff like that and taking photos. And I would just watch a bunch of tutorials, and I'm like I want to have my own camera. And so that's when I decided to buy my first camera my senior year. And that's where I got my interest filming.
So then you ended up going to UCSD.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. And then did you graduate?
Nah, I dropped out like halfway, like 2 years into it.
Why is that?
There was like a couple like moments that like I didn't like about the school. Like it made me not like want to be there anymore. Specifically, like there's this one moment my second year. I was taking this media class where they would have us do like these video projects, and they'd have us like critique it. And I submitted this one that I filmed with both of you guys. I don't know if you guys remember this one. I filmed on my iPhone, and I submitted it. And then I basically like would have to explain like the concept of the video. And I was like saying like, I was like trying to replicate like a Nike commercial and stuff. Yeah. And then kind of gave me like the storyline behind it. And like the whole class watched my video. And then when it came time to critiquing it, I remember there was this one student that basically said like, "Oh, I don't think this is art."
But that video was sick.
Yeah, that video was sick. That video was really sick. And like I thought like, well, I mean, I don't know what they thought. Like, but like there was a couple like other comments saying similar to that, like how like it wasn't art. Like expect more of it. They did. Yeah.
While you were there.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah, we were on Zoom class. And like I still remember that. Yeah.
That was in person, dude.
I wouldn't, dude. I was. I'm glad it wasn't in person, but it was on Zoom. Yeah. And I remember that, and I was just so mad because I'm like why would you say that? Like, how can you even say that it's not art just because it's like more commercialized than like what they were like looking for and stuff like that. So like that just like got my blood boiling. And then from then on, I'm like, no, I don't think like being at the school is for me anymore. And so that's when I was like looking into trying to get like an internship in LA. And that's when like I was telling you about it at that time. Like, I'm looking at internships and stuff like that.
That's funny because now I'm like remembering like this whole thing because I remember when you approached me about like wanting to make a video, and then like we were training. It was during the off season. We were training to all this, do it together and stuff like that. And then I remember the video that you turned out sick, and you said it was for class. And then you were living in the dorms over there, weren't you? Or at some point were you?
I lived there my freshman year. Okay. But then once COVID hit, they just made us go back. And so I was just staying at home, just doing Zoom.
Okay.
For my sophomore year.
Yeah. And then I remember you telling me this, like something about like how like this people were kind of just hating on it.
Yeah.
But what were their like projects? Like what did it like?
They were more like, I would say more like artsy stuff. So more like, more projects like it made you think or made you feel. They weren't like videos like you see like on Instagram and stuff. They're more like.
What was the prompt to the video?
To the project? Honestly, I don't remember what the prompt was.
But it was kind of like whatever you think is artistic.
Oh, I think it was you'd pick a subject, so like a person to film, and then that's about it. Just picking a person to film, and then you just have to explain like why you picked that person to film, and
Your
like
approach.
what the meaning to it was, and your approach basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I remember like a bunch of those videos were like, most of them would just pick themselves, and they were just like, I don't know what they'd film. It was like
I can
very,
imagine.
very like they had like a deep meaning to it, and then like, it was just a deep meaning to it. It was like way different than what I submitted. So
That was like everybody was something like that, or was there anybody that was similar to like what your approach?
I think there was like one or two similar to my approach, like those videos you see on Instagram with all those transitions and stuff, and like pretty hype. Yeah, there's a couple in there. Yeah.
And what grade did you end up getting on that project?
I got an A.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was like, so the professor appreciated it, but it wasn't the people like your classmates did.
Yeah.
Was there did you have more interactions like that? Like throughout the 2 years you were there?
I would say my freshman year.
Yeah.
I took like a photo class, just because like I just wanted to take it for fun, even though like I went through the curriculum and like seeing like what they taught, and like a bunch of it like I already knew about it, and like I taught myself. I'm like, I'll just take it just for fun. And then there's also like a couple moments where like it was like the same concept. They like bring a project, and you take like photos of it centered around the idea of the project, and then you like put it up in class. Even though this was in person, you bring your printed photos up to class, and then you explain like the meaning behind it and stuff. And yeah, there was just like a couple moments like my teacher just didn't get like what I took or why I took it, even though I explained it. Yeah. So
Yeah. That's the thing about those classes is that everything's just up for interpretation.
yeah.
So I can't imagine, like, I don't understand the argument that, like, especially for these like artsy students to say that something isn't art.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think anything can be considered art.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think the tough part is also UCSD isn't really known for like their arts and like media stuff. They're more known for like engineering and like computer science and stuff. So like there's like a very handful of us just taking those classes and stuff.
Okay.
And like there's times like I didn't really like fit into that school.
Yeah.
Just because like my friends and my like roommates would tell me like all this stuff, like, oh, taking computer science stuff, and I'm like, I'm just be here like, oh, I'm not even taking that.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
So you kind of just feel a little left out.
I feel left out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I didn't just fit in.
So
Yeah.
then, when you dropped out, like you said, you're looking for internships and stuff, and I remember at that time because we're training with Magia.
Yeah.
During that time, and you mentioned it to me, and then I ended up referring you to the guy that the coach of the team that we were playing for, and then from there he hooked you up with what is it called now? The
Mastermind Media.
Mastermind
Yeah,
Media. So
yeah.
that's where you work currently.
Yeah, that's where I still work. Yeah, I've
You've
been there
working there for like 3 years now.
almost 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then explain that? What's Mastermind?
So they're a media agency out in LA, and so what we do is like focus on social media management. So basically posting and like making content for clients for Instagram and TikTok. We also create pitching materials for anyone that has like TV or film ideas, and like they want to pitch to like Netflix, Amazon, all those big networks. And then we also create commercials and documentary productions as well. Yeah.
So you can name, or I can name one. You worked with, is it Jake Paul or Logan Paul?
I work with both.
You worked
Yeah.
with both. Okay, so well, explain that. How was that? How did that turn out? Like, how did that come about?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had this one client refer to us from another client, and he used to work at Instagram and YouTube, but at the time he was trying to like make his own content and try to do his own YouTube channel. And so he came up with like this series of like interviewing these celebrities, and then presenting them like old clips from like their career, and then having them react to it and asking like what they thought at this moment. And so the first video that we filmed was with George Lopez. It was at his house too. It was pretty dope. And then the second one was with this YouTuber named Eric. I don't know if you guys know him. So he's pretty big now, but he blew up because he bought Logan Paul's couches.
Oh, I know that guy.
So that guy,
Yeah.
and like he did a whole series of them like flying, like parachuting with those couches, blowing them up and stuff like that. And so like that's how he blew up. And then the third and fourth videos was with Jake and Logan Paul at their house in Puerto Rico.
Damn.
Yeah.
So you got to like meet them and like
Film
speak
with
to them
them.
at all or no?
I got to speak with George Lopez a little bit. He was like showing us this gift that Kobe Bryant gave to him. It was his championship ring that he won in 2010 against the Boston Celtics. And like he got the box and just opened it up and they just showed us the ring. And I got to wear it. So yeah, and he was just telling us a story of like why Kobe gave it to him and stuff like that.
What was the story?
I don't really remember it, to be honest. But yeah.
That's sick. How was he? How was George Lopez?
He was dope. Honestly, for me, it was kind of like a little hard to like look at him because I don't really remember how he looked like at the time. Because like the last time, I don't know when like the last time like I saw him like his shows and stuff. And I looked at him, I'm like, oh damn, that's George Lopez. Damn. Yeah. And I mean, he was chill. He was nice to us. But he was kind of like rushing us because he had a flight to take to get after we were done filming. Yeah. But yeah, he was nice. Eric was really nice though. Like right when we got to his house, just walking in with the cameras and like all the equipment, he literally asked me. He was like the first person that he talked to. He just asked me. He's like, "Oh, what camera is that?" And I told him. He's like, "Oh shit, so you guys are big, huh?" And I'm like, I mean, yeah, we're somewhat big. And then he's like, "That's sick." And then he was asking me like more questions about like the camera gear and stuff like that, what we're doing. And like I told him. And then I remember I had to give both him and his editor a ride to the airport. I was talking with the editor because he was up front in the seat with me. And I was just talking to him. And then, yeah, we were just going back and forth, like what type of YouTubers we watch, what kind of gear we have, and just talking all camera stuff. But yeah, they were pretty nice.
That's sick. And then Jake and Logan, you weren't able to speak with them much, or?
No, he was only speaking with the client because like that's like the only person he knew. And like my boss was there. My coworker was there as well filming, and then we had this other guy that was like the DP. He had all the camera equipment and stuff, but like he didn't know any of us. He just knew the client, so he was just me talking to them. I just like waved their hand, just said, "Hi, my name is Uli. Nice to meet you." So, and that's it. Yeah.
I don't care and leave me alone.
Nah, I mean they said hi. They say what's up. Yeah.
But they like okay. Who was more of like a? Who were you most nervous to meet?
Probably like Jake and Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But is there like the presence they give on social media? Is that how big of a presence they are in person, or are they more chill?
I would say Jake is way different in person than when you see him on social media, being like super cocky and arrogant and having like this persona. He's very chill and like very mature.
Oh really?
Yeah. But like Logan, how you see him as?
Yeah.
That's how he is. Yeah.
It kind of seems that way that Jake is kind of putting on that persona.
Yeah.
Be more hated.
Yeah. So.
That's sick. How long ago was that?
That was 2 years ago.
And you got flown out, right? Like all paid for to Puerto Rico and stuff?
Yeah.
You had to pay yourself.
No, we got flown out.
That's sick.
Covered with everything. Yeah.
And then since then, what other like have you been able to do any other big shoots or?
I filmed with this one actor. His name's JD Pardo. He's a lead actor for Mine MC. It's on FX. It just ended. There were like 5 seasons in. But yeah, we got into a couple of videos with them. Trying to think of any other big projects. No, not that. Oh, actually, I mean, there was. I wasn't really there. I was only there at the start of the projects when we were filming in LA, but there was like this like talk show, like this Gen Z talk show where our client was the host, and she would bring on kids our age debating about topics like abortion, gun control, and stuff like that.
Oh wow! I'd hate to be there.
Yeah. It was pretty. It was pretty tense because there was a couple things that the kids were saying, and I'm like, damn, those are wild takes. Like, I remember there was one kid that like,
what did he say?
I don't really remember on the top of my head, but it was like really like hot take because the topic was on abortion. He was like, he was against abortion, and like a lot of like stuff he was saying was like based on like science, religion, and stuff like that. And then once his episode dropped, he got like a lot of like people checking on his Instagram and stuff, and like there was a couple death threats from that video.
Yeah, I got any definition?
No one's taking it that serious yet.
Maybe my DM request.
Yeah. Nah, don't open those, bro. Sorry.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, and that's on YouTube.
Yeah, that video's still on YouTube. Yeah.
Dude, I might check it out.
Yeah. It's a whole series. And then from there, after we filmed that, we would have a celebrity come on, and like it would just be like an interview with the client and them. The first one we had was he was the main actor for Nezzy Classified. I don't know if you guys remember that show.
Oh,
on Nick, him. Yeah. His name was Devin Rukaiser or something like that. But yeah, we had him. And then
What relevance does he have now?
I don't know what he had, what he does now, to be honest.
Question,
but he was a good friend with the client, so that's why like she brought him on.
Interesting.
And then from then on, we would stop filming in LA because they built a studio out in New York, which is where they're based out of. But like they would film all these like interviews and like talk shows with a bunch of like celebrities. And I'd be editing them. Yeah, they would just send the content my way, and I'd edit it.
So a big portion of what you do now would you say is more so editing than it is filming, or is it the other way around?
Yeah, it's more so editing than filming. Yeah, because a lot of the content is already shot by like someone else, or like at our office, like all these podcasts, and they would just send the footage my way, and I just edit it from home.
So considering where you're at right now, is there a part of you that regrets not graduating, or do you believe that like the degree you would have gotten wouldn't have been worth it doing another 2 years there?
I don't think it would have been worth it because I feel like I would have graduated this past year in June if I still stayed there, and I feel like where I was 3 years ago, that's basically where I'd be right now in my career, just starting as an intern. And so
You're far along.
I'm far along already. I have a lot of experience doing this, and like I feel like I wouldn't have had that opportunity if I didn't take the risk of like dropping out. So I don't regret it.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, these are your cameras, huh?
Oh, well, one's rented, but this one's my main camera.
But all this equipment is yours now.
Yeah, all this equipment is
You
mine.
just got a Tesla, like it's
You're doing really well.
Yeah.
That's fire.
I'm doing all right.
So sick.
Yeah, it's so sick. Yeah, dude, the Tesla's sick.
Just thinking about that. I wanted to ask you a question to you, Lee. So the environmental like climate, or like just the area you were around in college, like it seems like it was a lot of negativity, right? And I just want to know like your thoughts at that moment in time versus now that you're like doing all this cool stuff, and like you said, you're so far along compared to other people that are in your field. Like, what was the mental aspect of like how you were thinking then, and like now looking back at it, how do you feel?
Honestly, I was kind of looking down on myself a lot because like I would see like all these people that I follow, like all these YouTubers, filmmakers and photographers, and I'd be like, fuck, like I wish I was them, you know?
Yeah.
Like I wish I was in that spot. And so like it was just a lot of me comparing myself on social media like to all these people. And yeah, I would just look down on myself, and like I just hated being there those like last couple months doing college. And what was the second part to your question?
How do you look back on it now that you're like so far along in your career? Or not so far compared to where you want to get, but you're doing very well for yourself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm glad that like those moments happen. Getting like that critique about that video that we filmed from that one classmate, like feeling alone and feeling like I don't fit in that school, because like now like I'm able to like take risks. I'm able to, you know, put myself out there and not care about what happens, you know, because like before doing this, like I always like try to take like the safe route, always like, you know, doing 4 years of college, studying really hard and stuff, and just being only focused in school, and then that's it, just doing like, and then trying to, you know, get a job after graduating. I always like looked at taking a safe route, but now like I'm willing to take risks. I'm willing to like do a lot more, and yeah, so I'm really glad that I dropped out, to be honest, and those moments happened.
That's dope.
Yeah.
What's the ultimate goal then for you?
The ultimate goal is eventually filming documentaries, like based on, especially similar to like what we filmed this past summer. A lot of soccer and sports documentaries, filming commercials for like Nike, Adidas, and maybe eventually like doing feature films. So like big Hollywood films
fire,
eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm still debating on that because I don't know how, if that like suits my style. But yeah,
How would you describe your style?
I would describe it filming wise, very like obviously this word's kind of thrown around a lot and very used, but like cinematic. I like to always have my my image look very clean and sharp, and I always try to make whoever I'm filming look good. So I always like try to get like all the best angles, and I always also take a story-wise approach first instead of having it like super paced and hyped. So yeah, that's how my approach would be.
Yeah, I for sure see that. Like you probably do too. Like every time we film, you're so detailed. Like not that I know like a lot about your field, but I can just tell like the detail and the effort you put into it, even like pre-shooting.
Yeah,
it's like that's commendable. So like,
I think this like the storyboard you send beforehand and all that stuff, it makes it like it's cool because I've like filmed with people before, and then they're just kind of like we get to the field or whatever, and they're just kind of like
you guys are figuring it out as you guys are filming. Yeah, I used to be like that, but then working with this one guy, his name is Jordan. He basically, like when we do those big productions, he's the one that brings all the gear and stuff. Like I would see how he'd work and how like before we were on these shoots, he would get on the call with my boss and like they talk it out, they plan it out. Yeah. And then I would see all these other people I follow, like they do the same thing, and I'm like, I have to take that approach as well, just so like I can show that I'm professional and like I'm not gonna like show up on the field with like no idea going on how the shoot's gonna be and stuff like that. So like I've taken that approach like this past year. Yeah.
I want to bring it back a little bit. How did your parents feel about you drugging it?
Bro, they didn't like it. They didn't because for like the majority of my life, like they always like wanted me just stay in school studying and like go down that route, you know, especially because I feel like especially with Hispanic families, like a degree is like the ultimate goal here, especially, and like that's the reason why like they came here, so like they can give us like a better life, and like ultimately like I wanted to like do that for like longest time, but when like that moment hit for me where like I just didn't feel like going to school anymore, like I was really contemplating on like whether like dropping out was the right thing or not, because I had what my parents would think in the back of my mind the whole time.
Did you ever think to transfer?
No, I didn't think of transferring. I'm just done. Yeah. So, yeah, for the first person I told was like my dad, between my parents, of like thinking of dropping out. It was like right after that moment, and I told him, and he was like a bit disappointed. Where he's all like, I mean, as long as you know what you're doing, then I mean, I'm gonna be disappointed, but I mean, I still support you. And then my mom was kind of, I didn't tell her to like wait later, like after I dropped out, because I knew like she would take it the hardest. And then once I told her, like, I mean, she kind of already knew, and like, and she kind of still had like skeptic about, because I was already working at the time with Mastermind, and she was like, she was kind of skeptic over what I was doing. And like she didn't think I was like, actually working. Yeah. Because I would tell her like, oh, I go here to this place. I go up to LA a lot, and like she would think like I'm going to the hood or something, and then downtown LA and stuff like that. And yeah, I just be out in like the streets and stuff, putting myself in danger. But I explained to her a little bit to like the best of my ability.
I can't imagine how difficult it is to explain to like, because your mom comes from Mexico, right?
Yeah.
Like someone like
tough,
like.
Bro.
Yeah, I'm just trying to imagine me explaining to my parents like what you're doing and having them try to understand. Like I could, like because that's so foreign to them.
Yeah.
And like that, the whole thing is so foreign. Like I don't even know if my parents know we have a podcast.
Yeah.
Like, they wouldn't even like understand what we're
Yeah,
like.
yeah,
Why are you
yeah.
guys talking to each other? Like, why are you filming yourselves talking to each other? Like they'll be like so confused.
Yeah.
So I can imagine you like explaining that. Like how did that conversation go?
Yeah, I mean, I just like told her like straight up like, oh, like I dropped out, and like here's the reasons why. I told her why, and like what I want to do, and like what my vision is basically, and like she just like she just gave me like a look at first.
Yeah.
And like and then she was like, so like what are you doing now? Like, are you actually working? Or and then I'm like, yeah, I am working. Like I told her like what I'm doing, how my work actually is. And so and like at the end she still kind of didn't get it, but she's like, I mean, if you're happy with what you're doing, then it's fine by me. So
Now fast forward to where you're at now.
yeah.
Do they understand it better?
Yeah, they understand it better. Yeah. I tell them like a couple like times like I've told them like the people that I've filmed with.
How do they feel about you filming with George Lopez?
George Lopez, they're like, oh, that's crazy, like George Lopez, and yeah, they're actually really happy about me. And they asked if like I took pictures. I'm like, I didn't because we were pretty rushed in the shoot. But now I showed them like the video that I was editing, and like the picture of me getting Kobe Bryant's ring, and like they were like pretty ecstatic about it. Yeah.
Was that like your stamp of approval from them, you think?
Yeah.
Like that's
At that moment, yeah.
Oh,
That was
really?
it. And then also when I flew to Puerto Rico, like I was kind of weird telling them because they're like, "Why are you going to Puerto Rico?" And I'm going for work. Like
My mom.
There's this guy named Logan Paul.
this guy going for. They wouldn't know who he is, but yeah. But yeah, they were pretty happy about me going to Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Okay, so then how long? Yeah, so was it until the George Lopez when they like really like were fully on board, or was it like before that?
No, it's still a little bit after that. Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
really?
yeah,
Okay.
still. Oh, I mean, mainly from my mom. Yeah,
okay.
my dad like, he still didn't get it like what I was doing, but like, he was still like supportive of it.
Have they seen any of your videos?
I showed them a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, oh, that's sick. That's pretty nice. Yeah. So.
Did they ever criticize? Did they ever say this isn't?
Nah, I don't because, I mean, most of it is in English and like they don't really understand it, so it's like they
Yeah,
just
I
see.
mean, Spanish films,
Yeah,
dude.
for reals.
Like, how do they feel about you like getting your Tesla and like?
All
Oh,
this
dude,
stuff,
they were
like,
pretty happy about me getting my
Yeah.
Tesla and stuff like that. Yeah, they were like, "Oh, that's a nice ass car."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now,
So yeah, they're pretty happy.
When money starts coming in, they start understanding.
Yeah.
This is, yeah.
Especially that. Yeah.
All right, damn. No, that's sick. And then so, okay, so you've worked on all these big projects. I know you spoke about like what your like ultimate goal is with it, but like, and then we're working on this like documentary without a doubt.
Yeah.
That's gonna come out soon. But other than that one, are there any other like personal projects that you're thinking about wanting to do or already like in the works of doing, and like big production ones?
At the moment, no, but I would like for us to like film like more content similar to what we filmed the documentary,
yeah.
and like
No, I can't wait for that.
yeah,
It's
that's
gonna
gonna
be
be
so-
sick.
yeah.
It's really nice. It's coming along pretty well, and yeah, like basically like pushing without a doubt towards like the Gymshark direction, and also like I mean I don't know when we're ever doing it, but like dropping our apparel line
Yeah.
and like doing like a lot of videos with it, a lot of commercials and stuff like that. So
There's so many, like my brother and I always go back and forth about like we like the main thing that anytime we have conversation about without a doubt, it's like we get excited because like there's so many routes we can take.
Yeah.
There's so much we can do with it, and that was kind of the idea with like having the name be so kind of like broad.
Yeah.
Not just be like soccer specific, is that we can branch out to as many sports as we want to, branch out to as many avenues that we want to branch out to, because
yeah,
like we now have the team to do it, and we have and there's just and like we have the mindset or like the open-mindedness to like want to branch out to different things that we aren't doing now.
yeah,
And I think having someone like you on board has made that way more like feasible, because like you're working right now. You're working somewhere that works with all kinds of creators. So and then you kind of get the idea, and then you are now without a doubt like have upgraded the production of everything. With like the podcast and stuff. Like that's the only reason why we have the podcast going is because of you, to be honest.
Honestly.
Because this podcast, I told my brother because he always wanted like he's been like he was like telling me like, dude, we need to start the podcast again. Like that was like fun and all that stuff. And I'm like, yeah, it was fun, but like I'm not gonna do it if it's like in our bedroom.
It's a pain.
And like, you know, like if it's one iPhone and then one like legit camera or one, you know, like it was just like I wanted to feel legit. And I want, you know, and I want it to be like, so when people watch it, are like, okay, this is high quality. And I think you've made that.
Yeah.
And then again, with these, like with the documentary coming out, that's like, dude, that's high quality.
Yeah.
Like, that's sick. And I can't wait for that to come out. But no, like, yeah, I think that's one thing that we're all excited about is just to continue creating as much as we can possibly create. And then about anything.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like I said, like there's so many avenues we can take. But yeah, I have like 2 final questions that kind of wrap it up and it comes back to soccer. But if you have anything before that, if not, I can just
go ahead.
Yeah.
If anything pops up, I'll ask.
So we can like wrap it back up and we'll tie it back to soccer because ultimately this is like
where it started.
Yeah. Question number 1. Are you an Arsenal fan?
I am. Yeah, I'm a pretty big Arsenal fan.
No, I gotta say something.
What are you gonna say?
No, it's just you guys trying to be us. You know?
I know. We'll get there. We'll
You're
get
on the
there.
come up, though.
Yeah, we are.
You're doing really
We
well.
have a pretty good team. I like how the players we have right now and like
Coach.
the coach. Yeah.
Like how you guys are talking like you're the owner of Man City.
For real.
Yeah. How long have you been an Arsenal fan?
I've been an Arsenal fan since Ozil transferred there from Madrid because I was a really big Ozil fan when he was there, especially that year when like Madrid won La Liga 2011 2012. I would see a bunch of highlights on YouTube and I just like his play style, and he went to Arsenal and that's when I became an Arsenal fan. So yeah.
I thought it was because of KSI or something.
No. Even though I was a big KSI fan. A big KSI fan, but
when are you gonna work on one of his projects?
I don't know.
That'd
We'll
be
see.
sick.
That'd be sick.
Work with the sidemen.
Work with him in the sidemen. Yeah.
Man, without a doubt.
Yeah. That would be lit. Yeah, one day. Yeah.
Okay, my second question. What's like looking back at the years that you played soccer? What's like one memory that holds like deep now, or like that you still remember? What is your best soccer memory?
Soccer memory. I remember there was this one game where it was pretty tight. It was like against one of our biggest rivals.
Was this high school or?
High school, yeah. I think it was freshman year. And then it was pretty tight. We were winning 1-0. And I remember the other team had a free kick, like right outside the 18-yard box. And I was goal at the time. I was playing. And then I remember saving that free kick. And then I think I saved the follow-up or the rebound. And I think that was like my best moments. I remember like the whole team going wild and stuff and crazy over my save. So I think that's like my best moment. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. Do you have anything?
I'm good.
Yeah, good.
All right. Well then, yeah. Do you have anything?
No, I mean, I just want to say that, I mean, I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to like film your guys' content for Without a Doubt. And also like,
Trust me,
and also like taking the time to like film, have me film you guys for the documentary as well. And you know, it's gonna be pretty good, pretty good documentary, and I can't wait for it to come out. Honestly.
Yeah, bro. No,
Yeah,
dude, it's
big
our
contrast.
pleasure, bro.
Seriously, like, thank you.
But yeah, all right. So now you guys are watching. Know who's the man behind the camera? Who's the man that like edits this podcast, edits all the reels for that go up about the podcast, and then when you see the documentary, you'll see this is the guy who filmed it, edited it, like came up with it all. So yeah, now there's a face behind the production. So it's
It's like the last time I'll be in front of the camera for a while.
how does it feel being in front of the camera?
I mean, I think now it feels more natural being on this side of the table, but
When you're
last time when I was co-host, I'm like, I don't know what to ask. I don't know where to look and stuff like that.
How's it
So
feel to be cool?
yeah,
It's chill, bro.
it's chill.
I
Yeah,
like it. It's cool. Yeah.
No, this is fun.
yeah,
All right. Well, that's everybody from the Without a Doubt crew.
yeah.
Now we get some guests who have interesting, like more interesting stories now. Now we get other guests who aren't a part of the team but are friends and stuff, and we get to hear more of their stories. So that'll be our next episode. Will be with Samuel Atia, who was my teammate at UCI, and he has a crazy story. So that's like a good like first start to like the guests.
The guest, yeah.
So this podcast is gonna keep going and keep growing and growing and growing. Yuli's gonna make sure of that, and we'll make sure to keep bringing on like good guests with good stories, and yeah, dude, Yuli, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah. Peace. Later.
My Instagram.
Yeah.
My Instagram is just Uli Abundis.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Abundis. He'll make sure to.
Yeah,
put it there.
that's what I was gonna say.
And then Without a Doubt _athletics on Instagram, and then
Sergio _Gutierrez, Sergio.
Yuli will put all that.
Yeah.
All right then. I'll see you guys in the next episode.